Today we're going to be writing some music. I have some ready-made music already up here. We're going to first go through all of the parts of writing music. When we write music, we start off with our directions. We have two directions that we use. This is our first direction. Do you remember what it's called? This is the treble clef. The treble clef lets anyone know that picks up your music what pitches you will be using within your music. In this case, the treble clef takes care of the high pitches, the pitches that women and children use when they sing. Our second direction is a number, and that number can change. It can be 2, 4, 6, 8, even 12. But that place where the number goes, do you remember what it is called? It is called the time signature. The time signature tells us how many beats are going to be in each of our groups. Our groups also have a name, our groups of pitches, of rhythms. Those groups are called measures. In our example, we have two measures. Our measures are divided by this tall line right here. This line must be taller than our rhythms, just a little, and longer than our rhythms, just a little, so that it is not mistaken as our ta, as one of our rhythms. This is a dividing line. Do you remember its name? It is called the bar line. The bar line divides up our groups of beats according to our time signature. Our time signature in this example is 4. We have 4 beats using our ta, ti, and rest. And then there's a bar line. Then we're able to put 4 more beats, ta, rest, ti, ta. And then we could simply put another bar line and do another measure. We can make our music as long as we want to make it, as long as we put a bar line after each group of rhythms. Now in this case, we just have 2 measures, so we want to finish our music at this point. We want that stop, don't go any further. We want this symbol right here. Do you remember what it is called? It is called the double bar line. Again, double means 2, and we have 2 bar lines. A regular bar line, when you get to that bar line, you just go straight through it. It is just dividing up your measures. But when you get to a double bar line, you cannot go through it. A double bar line, again, is a single bar line, just like all the other bar lines, but it has a buddy. And its buddy is another bar line, but a bit thicker. And we cannot go through the double bar line. So boys and girls, let's go ahead and write some of our own music. Again, we're going to start off with our directions. We'll be using the treble clef. Remember, the treble clef is made up of a single line and then just half circles. So we're going to start with our single line. Then you're going to start at the top of that, and on the right side of that line, you're going to make just a small half circle. Kind of looks like a tall P. Then you're going to start where you finished. We're going to go on the left side of that line, make a much bigger half circle, coming almost to the bottom of that line, but not quite. Then we're going to start where we finished. We're back on the right side of the line, coming up, a smaller half circle. Again, start where you finished. Now we're back on the left side of the line. You're going to come down in a smaller half circle. This creates a circle inside of a circle and they cannot touch. And then the last thing is to start where you finished, back on the right side, just come up with that tail. Remember, it is just a simple tail. You don't want to do spirals because then at that point it's no longer a treble clef. So we have our first direction of our piece of music. Everyone knows what pitches we're going to be using, the high pitches women and children use when they sing. Our next direction is that number that tells you how many beats you're going to put in each measure. And we are going to continue using 4 as our time signature. So right in front of that, right after that treble clef, you're going to write your 4 for your time signature. Then it's time to get into our music. So you must decide what are the 4 beats that you want to use. You are all amazing musicians, so I want you to think of your own 4 beats. You don't want to copy off of me. I will use the boring 4 tas so that no one will copy off of me. Again, let's review our rhythms quickly. We have the ta, that is 1 beat. It says its name from the beginning of the beat to the end. It's one long sound, ta. We also have the TT. The TT is also worth 1 beat, but it is divided into 2 small pieces. And we clap and say 2 short sounds, T, T. And then our rest. Remember, our rest is a backwards S with a C at the bottom. Your rest is also only worth 1 beat, but it's 1 beat of silence. So choosing between these 3 rhythms, create your first measure of music. You do not have to use all of them if you do not want to, or you can use all of them. It's your music, so make it your own. I will be using the 4 tas. So I have beat 1. And again, I write going straight across the paper. I want my music to look like a sentence on a page, so going straight across. I have my 2nd beat, my 3rd beat, and my 4th beat. So I have 4 beats in my pattern. That goes with my time signature. But I want to make my music longer, so I just need to put that bar line in there, that dividing line. I'm going to make my bar line a little taller and a little longer. That way you can definitely see that is not a ta, that is my bar line. After that, I'm going to write 4 more beats. So again, choose what pattern do you want for your 2nd measure. I will put beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, and beat 4. I try to make my rhythms all about the same size, going in a straight line. Just always trying to make my music look very nice and neat. At this point, I'm only going to write 2 measures today, so it's time to stop. Don't go any further. I need to put that stop sign, that double bar line. So I try to make my first line of my double bar line the same as my first one within the music. Then I'm going to give him a buddy. So I draw him right next to that first bar line. They should not be touching, but I make him a little thicker. And I don't want to make this big, huge scribble block in my music. I want to try to make it as nice and neat as I can. And it is just a little thicker than the first. All right, boys and girls, so you have your complete piece of music with measures, bar lines, time signatures, and the treble clef. Now you all know you don't have to stop at just 2 measures. So go ahead and add as many measures as you like, as long as you're putting that bar line in between each measure. So go make some music today and have some fun.